Okay, welcome back everyone to the stream. It's me, it's here for it, and we're here to do the hardcore Cheflocke of Black and White Cookies Pokemon Black. Last stream was tough for me. I was feeling a little traumatized from getting a migraine during the stream before last stream, and it's really all I could talk about, and it definitely distracted me from playing the game well. So we wiped a couple times, two, three times, and so we're here for attempt 10 now. Okay, real quick, I gotta fix the. For some reason, I don't know if it's a settings issue or what's the problem, but there's some kind of issue with the settings of like the dimensions that I set for the emulator, where it's just like it just doesn't want to stay consistent from stream to stream. I try to like just copy the same settings. Whatever, that's not interesting. Here we are. So we're doing the black and white cookie Cheflocke. Cheflocke is a Nuzlocke variant I came up with where you name all your Pokemon after ingredients in a recipe, and when you win the Nuzlocke, you make that recipe with whichever ingredients made it through the challenge. Some ingredients are more important than others. We call those foundational ingredients. And if any foundational ingredients die, then you have to start all over. And you have to have at least one in your party at all times. Now this run, part of the recipe Cheflocke, the way that it works is you have to lay out all of the ingredients in your recipe before you start the run, and that's the amount of encounters that you're allowed in the game. So this is my first baking Cheflocke, and the thing about that is there's only so many ingredients. This is the fewest ingredients I've ever had for a challenge. We're doing 11 ingredients, which is less than a quarter of the encounters available in the typical Nuzlocke of Pokemon Black. And of those 11 ingredients, 8 of them are foundational, meaning that if any of those 8 encounters faint at any point in the challenge, we have to start over. So that's why we keep wiping. It's not like we're doing like full wipes to a vanilla game. It's that, you know, we're getting unlucky crits and that kind of thing. So, we're back to start again. We start anew. I am excited to do this challenge. I love to bake. I like the kind of precision of it, and I kind of had to learn how to love to bake once I became diagnosed celiac, once I had to stop eating gluten, because if you don't learn how to bake yourself as a gluten-free person, one, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you'll just never get to have again because there's not even like an expensive gluten-free version that you can go buy, and two, like if you can find whatever it is, Oreos, whatever they are, there's a fucking tax. They are much more expensive than if you just bake yourself. Just have some flour in the house. Throw butter in the flour. Throw butter and some sugar. Mix it until it's one thing. Put an egg in it. Mix that until it's one thing. And then put some flour in it. Mix that till it's one thing. Well, buddy, you got yourself some cookies going. This recipe seems a little more complex than that because it's a cakier cookie. So, I've never tried it. I've never had a black and white cookie, but it just seemed fitting. It's something I've always wanted to try, and what better recipe for a Cheflocke of Pokemon Black? I mean, come on. So we got through our first 2 rival challenges here. We might do a little fast forward stuff, a little speed up here and there, but I think for the most part I'm gonna try to play careful nature. That's good. That's good for a Tepig. We like a careful Tepig. Good stuff. I have already got our rare candies in order. I am going to avoid over-leveling too much right this moment because we want a better shot at catching the Pokemon on Route 1 if we encounter Pokemon before we're able to get through the route and buy more Pokeballs. And, you know, part of that is you want to be able to damage it without knocking it out. So level 8 seems like a good enough thing. So we gotta go visit Bianca first. Watch her dad be like, I don't believe in you. I love the framing of this game that, like, the dad is some unreasonable, like, villain because he doesn't want his presumably, like, 10, 12-year-old daughter, like, traveling the country alone. But, hey, that's the premise we all bought into. In the Pokemon world, once you're, like, 12, you just go for it. Which, by the way, we got Sharon and Fennel right here. How old is this guy supposed to be? Like, how old is Sharon? Oh, okay, we've got a little cutoff on the top, too. I'm noticing. Alright, let's fix that. I think... yeah, that's better. Okay. Cool. But yeah, how old is this guy? This kid, supposedly. Maybe this is gym leader Sharon, which is only like 3 years later or something. I don't think it's like some crazy time jump. And then Fennel, the fully grown professor woman, why does she look like a little girl? Anime's weird. Anime's weird. No one talks about how anime is weird, but I'm brave enough to say it. You can't silence me, weebs, as much as I know you want to. The weebs are always trying to silence me. They say, hey, she's not a little girl. She's a 1,000-year-old dragon lady. I'm like, she just looks like a little girl. And I'm like, alright, Fire Emblem. It sucks that it's Fire Emblem. Because I played Fire Emblem Awakening and I liked it a lot, but they do have, like, that exact trope where it's like a hundreds-year-old little girl dragon lady that you can, like, marry to your characters or whatever, and it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why? Why, Japan? Why? Look, pedophilia is certainly a problem in America as well. We're not fucking innocent over here. And obviously, a lot of Americans love this Japanese content as well, but it's just crazy how brazen it is in something that is like presumably more or less a kid's game. Like Fire Emblem's not exactly a kid's game, but it ain't exactly not a kid's game. All right. We're crossing our fingers for a Lillipup with Vital Spirit. That's what we want to see, because that's going to evolve into our Intimidate user. Ooh, Lillipup. Okay, let's get one tackle in on this guy. Nice work. Let's throw this Pokeball. It's still a pretty good Pokemon if you don't get Intimidate, but the ability is like Sand Rush. Makes it faster in a sandstorm. It's like... pretty sad, honestly. Vanilla. The Lillipup. Welcome to the Resistance. Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit. That is too bad. That is really too bad. We've only ever, I think, caught one Intimidate Lillipup. I think that's true. Are they going to fight us again right here? I can't even heal. I don't have potions or anything. Let's go talk to my... well, we're good to buy like a bunch of Pokeballs now. I'll go ahead and just rare candy Tepig. And vanilla, why not? Ooh, that's a little higher than I wanted to go, but I'm sure it will be fine. Bania. Get you up there to right around, we can do 13 for you as well. Alright, let's make it happen. Okay, yeah, they do want to fight again. So many fights with these guys. Oh, no, it's not a fight. Not yet. Alright. Now we have to learn how to use a Poké Center. It's kind of complicated. You have to press A a bunch, and then once you've pressed A enough, you have to stop pressing A. Alright. So, let's see here. Time to buy a bunch of Pokeballs, but first let's sell a bunch of rare candies. That's what I like. Let's just sell all of them real quick. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. I'm gonna have to put the cheat back in, aren't I? Yeah, I gotta put the cheat back in. Alright. Come on. Alright. Candy. Sell. More candy. We're just gonna sell until we've got maximum money. And then we'll start buying stuff. Almost there. One more time. Let's go. Alright. Let's buy unlimited potions, basically, and then let's buy a ton of Pokeballs. Okay, good to go. We're here for it. Yes, M-Class. Welcome back to the stream. Always a pleasure to have you. It's time to watch this, this maniac Getsis talk about Pokemon Liberation. Can you imagine something so stupid as thinking that Pokemon should be free? Wait a second. Is this guy low-key spitting? Is this actually the truth? When will humans and Pokemon have equal rights? That's such a good point, actually. N. Are we gonna fight right now? You and your Purloin? I think we are, right? Let's do it. Oh, Purloin. You're pathetic. Pathetic? Oh, wow. One crit. Wait, I didn't name Tepig? Oh, that's bad. I think that, well, you know, we know who Tepig is. Tepig is Flower. And we'll rename them once we get to, I think it's only the 3rd gym town where Berg is. What do you got for us, Lillipup, with your pickup? Oh, a great ball. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. It'll get used. Okay, Mom. Thank you. Oh, look at you. You're here in real life. You were just on the phone, and now you're in real life. This is insane. We need a Pokemon social worker to bring about equal rights. I think we need a Pokemon revolution to bring about equal rights. I think we need like Pokemon armed masses and Pokemon mutual aid, Pokemon there's other stuff that goes into revolution. Pokemon healthcare workers, but they're based. I don't know how to do revolution. Otherwise we wouldn't be in this mess. You know what I mean? Alright, Pat Rat, it's lemon time. The return of Lemon. I had an interesting one. The last run we did was the first attempt where we didn't manage to pick up the Pat Rat and the Lillipup. Good trouble indeed. Clink clink. Talk about the oh, what's it? What are they called? Is it the Bell Riots that tip society in Star Trek. I think it might be the Bell Riots. Whatever it is, it's lit, and I think we've already like hit the year it was supposed to happen. I think it was 2025, maybe. It might be later than that. I don't know. I just watched that episode recently where Cisco goes back in time and like of Deep Space Nine, and he goes back in time and basically becomes the guy who was the impetus for the riots that changed the world. Cool stuff. I love a good time travel, like, closed loop where you have to go back in time to do the thing that already happened. Love it. Futurama's good at that. DS9 rules. It's my favorite by a good margin. I like Next Gen, I like Voyager. 90s Trek is my ideal Trek in general. I like Lower Decks a lot because it definitely is steeped. 2024, yeah. It was already supposed to happen. Yeah. Never too late. Never too late. I say to myself every day as more and more flock cameras go up everywhere in the world. Whatever, there's contracts that are being pushed back against and stuff. Yeah, Futurama is a smart series written by smart people. It really is. I mean, they're still sexists, but, you know, the benevolent kind. Where they like women, they just don't know how to look at them as full human beings all the way. Lemon. Let's get you up here level 12 because we've hit the level cap and that seems a little risky. Alright, we gotta get our monkey. It's monkey time. It's monkey mania. Your Pat Rat versus my Pat Rat. I think my Pat Rat takes that with a flinch and a 2-shot. Get another flinch. It'd be funny. Okay, that's fine. We don't need 2 flinches. Yeah. No, you're not bringing down the vibe. I brought all of this up. I brought up all of the bullshit. The BS. Oh, on a lighter note, Jer, thanks again for the Drampa. Jer gifted me this today. Em, do you see this? It's a beautiful full art Drampa from Sun and Moon era. I love it. It's hanging out with Charon and Fennel on the desk. I just like, every once in a while I'll just have like you know, a hard sleeved card just kind of like sitting out so I can look at it. Ooh, Oranguru is good, certainly. I think the best one, if we're talking like actual viability and like OP-edness, is currently probably Annihilate. Is probably the best monkey adjacent mon. Ghost fighting is a pretty crazy typing, and Rage Fist is a crazy move. And yeah, I just think he's pretty boss. What were we calling this? Corn syrup. Corn syrup, the pan sage. I haven't checked out Pat Rat's nature yet, but it's kind of the least consequential of any of our pickups. We yet again did not roll and intimidate Lillipup. I don't know if y'all missed that. We've got another pickup Lillipup, which is, you know, that's our cross to bear. No, stop. Sand attack, no. Corn syrup, level 12. Let's put corn syrup in the front because we got to go fight Charon at school. We don't even go to this school, and we just show up, and he's reading the blackboard, and we're like, we're going to fight in here? Hope that's cool. Vibes-wise, I like Annihilate on vibes as well, but my favorite monkey, it's hard to say. I am fond of Apom on an aesthetic level. I've never really enjoyed playing with Apom all that much. And Apom himself is, like, obviously not great. Yeah, satisfies the inner edgelord. Annihilate. I just love the idea. Okay, so I had like one Pokemon VHS of like the show when I was a kid. I had a VHS that had, it was like, I'm pretty sure it was an episode where Ash meets his Mankey turned Primeape. And then afterwards, it's like the 2 or 3 episodes where he has to go try to fight Sabrina, and then he has to go catch a ghost, so a Pokemon, just so he can fight Sabrina or whatever. And Darmanitan's great too. I love Darmanitan. But I just love, like, you know, Primate's whole thing is that he was angry, and I just love the lore of Annihilate being like, Primate was so angry that he died. He died of being mad. It's relatable, you know? That's relatable. You ever get so mad that you just fucking die? It's pretty good. Let's see here. I got another poll recently. I thought this was neat. It went right into the Pokedex binder, which is coming along. The Pokedex binders are stacking up. We've got like... But I got this full art Beedrill. This thing's cool. It's all purple in the background with these like swishies. It's shiny. I like it. It's the best thing I've pulled out of Chaos Rising. Which I didn't. I decidedly like. I was like, when Chaos Rising came out, I was like, I'm not gonna open too much of that because right now I'm not really playing the game. So I can't really argue that I need anything for like playability. And as far as just like the arts in the set and that kind of thing, there were no polls I was really all that interested in chasing, and a lot of the like illustration rares I want are gonna be like $5 at most, like the Clay Doll or why is the Clay Doll the only thing I can think of? Excuse me. All right. Also, we're doing Gen 3 music today instead of Gen 5. I don't know. It's just what was speaking to me. All right. But we'll get through this. Yeah, Beedrill really is so cool looking. Like, they nailed it. To have, like, stingers as fists is cool. Like, it's a cool idea. Yeah, for real. Well, and that's just it, right? Like, I like a lot of Pokemon. I really don't dislike any Pokemon. So anytime there's, like, some, like, yeah, more niche or obscure Pokemon that gets, like, an art rare and I pull it, I'm not one of these weirdos that's disappointed about it. It's so funny, too, because, like, I managed to get my hands on the first partner, like 30th anniversary box that they put out there, and I got volume 1. I have not managed to get volumes 2 or 3, but volume 1 has the Kanto starters in it, as well as the Sinnoh starters and then the Alolan starters. And like, I was low-key like, because I'm trying to fill out my Pokedex binder with like cool cards, I already have pretty good cards for all of the Kanto starters, so I was like, I'm actually kind of hoping for the Alolan starters, or whatever, and and then I went ahead and pulled the Kanto starters anyway, which I'm happy to pull, like, because ultimately, like, they're cool looking, and I like these guys a lot, and you know, if it ever comes down to it, like, it'll be easier to part with these because I do have like I have the illustration rare for Charmander from 151, and I have the illustration rare of Bulbasaur from 151. Squirtle, I have, it's not like the rarest card in the world, but it's one from my childhood collection. I have this Team Rocket Squirtle that is illustrated by Atsuko Nishida, and she's like the goat of Pokemon design. I love her. My wildest dream is to, that's weird. OBS doesn't want to record this for some reason, which doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the world if I can... Hold on. Can I download lives from my YouTube? Yes. to log in, click content, switch to the live tab, hover over the live stream you want to save, click the 3 dots and select download. But is it like download for watching off the internet, or is it like... Oh, whatever. We can figure it out. If it keeps crashing. Yeah, that's weird, but that's a problem for another time. Alright. Let's keep fighting. We're almost through this gym. Mega Beedrill's cool. Oh no. Hitting a Fury Swipes after a Bide? That's scary. Okay. Who's got the best defense here? 20, 20, 44, 33. Okay. Tepig, I'm going to switch you in. And we're going to hope. Woof. Alright, and let's switch out again. This Patrat has killed runs. At least one run this Patrat killed with a Bide before. I want the Gen 3 versions of those really bad. Those first partner things. But those boxes, like the only way I was able to get that Volume 1 is because I literally went and stood in line at Best Buy. Which was like fine. I would do it again. But then, I don't know. It gets really like daunting and obnoxious to try to keep up with like, when is Best Buy gonna restock and blah blah blah, and getting there, because the closest Best Buy to me is like a 20-minute drive minimum. It's like closer to a half hour. So I don't know. And a lot of the other stores in the area don't really restock as consistently or like warn you ahead of time as much, which is obnoxious, but hey. So the way we're gonna play this, let's get everybody up to the level cap, and then we'll put Flower the Tepig, who I'll have to rename later, in front, and then we'll have Pansage in the back, ready to go against their monkey. Our monkey for their monkey. Yeah, I really do think it's a recession indicator, the way that the Pokemon hobby is right now, because like ultimately the only reason that you have so many people like scalping these cards is because the market is there. Like, people do want it, right? But it's still like one of those things where, how would I put it? The only reason that people are desperate enough to like go kind of like hog wild on a hobby they don't care about to make money off of it is because like they can't meet their needs otherwise. Like, this is the easiest thing they've figured out how to do, is like, well, if I just keep track of when Walmart is going to put Pokemon cards in and buy as many as possible, I can take advantage of the people that want this. You know, it's way easier than finding a job that actually pays you enough if you can do it enough, I guess. But, you know, that's why I don't, my big thing is I'll never sell sealed product, and I don't buy aftermarket sealed product. Like, if I don't get it in the store, I didn't get it. And that sucks. There's a lot of stuff I'm not getting that I would like to. I didn't get nearly as much Black Bolt White Flare as I wanted to. Because that was really when the hype and the scalpers were at their peak. But, you know, c'est la vie. Like, I ultimately only have so much money to spend on any of this stuff in the first place, and so a little bit it kind of keeps me honest in a weird way, that there's like less stuff on the shelves. But I mean, that's, you know, that's a dumb reason. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's like I don't like the scalpers and I don't contribute to the environment that enables them, is how I see it. But I also, like, ultimately can't really fault people that much for, you know, taking the easy come up You know, because the people that are paying after market prices for Pokemon cards can clearly afford to do so. I don't really feel bad that those people are being taken advantage of. Really, the only people that are really losing out are people who, you know, like... Yeah, I agree. It's like you want to make sure that we're not pricing kids out of it is definitely the idea. No, whoa, 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 whoa. That's annoying as hell. I thought he was on his first turn of biting. I also thought we were faster. I really didn't think that bite was going to go off just then. I mean, that doesn't end the run. Lemon's non-foundational, but it's definitely fucking inconvenient. That's so annoying. Alright, alright. We gotta lock in a little bit. We gotta get off autopilot a little bit. I forgot to go heal my guys. For one. No, I like the distraction. It's fun to talk about this kind of stuff. Alright. Okay. Well, we got another encounter coming up shortly. Drillbur, we'll grab our Drillbur, and then hopefully we'll grab a Zebstrika. Or Blitzel, rather. It's not super likely, but we pulled it one time. And, you know, maybe... Because half the reason... I don't know. Half the reason we do Pat Rat is because it's a good answer into Lenora, the second gym leader's Watchog. Alright, let's set up Stovacor. Damn, guys. I'm sorry, Lemon. Stovacor. I just love the idea of all my Pokemon being met by impressed Klingons. Oh, it was Jolly too? God damn it. Had a good nature and everything. Why didn't we outspeed? I don't know. I can't dwell on what just happened. That was annoying though. I really thought, whatever. Whatever. Moving on. Oh yeah, I have to go back to talk to Fennel. I didn't even remember who Fennel was when I pulled this Fennel card. But now you talk to her all the time. I tried selling this at a card show. They didn't want it. Charon I've held on to. Just because, like, I actually, like, know Charon. And I like Charon. Very rarely do I hold on to a trainer card. There's, like, when I get... I've pulled 2 trainer SIRs ever. Kieran from Twilight Masquerade, and then, what's her name? Dendra, I think, from... I think it was from Paldea Evolved. And, Dendra, Kieran I like as a character. Like, in hindsight, I might have, like, held on to that card, but ultimately I'm trying to fill out my Pokedex binder, and I can't ever see the Kieran SIR getting, like, exorbitantly, prohibitively expensive if it's ever something I really wanted to get back. Let's do this. Alright. Do our first double battle. First mandatory double battle. Hone in on the left. These Pat Rats and their bide. It's so annoying. It's obnoxious. Alright, and then plow through the right. Flame charge. I do think I might start getting back into TCG Live, but it just, my computer, I'm waiting on some external storage because I need to clean up my computer storage because things are starting to run a little slower, get a little silly. So I think we can stay in on one, whatever he's gonna do. Okay, yeah, water sport, tail whip. That's what we'll switch out on. Corn syrup, get on in here. Oh, corn syrup, you're so sweet. Vine whip and one more of those. Great job. Sand attack, you don't say. Growl, you don't say. Another growl, huh? Well, bye. Good work. Okay. Time to go to the cave. Man, it's always funny, these challenges, these harder challenges, how used to the early game you get. And it makes you complacent. It makes you lose your pat rat. Yeah, I need to learn a lot more about computers, frankly, because I'm starting to... Oh, I need to buy repels is what I need to do. Get out of my way. Because I'm reaching limitations that are making my life harder. Pretty soon here, I'm gonna need to build, like... build a PC or commission a PC that will be better for editing, because I've reached a point where, like, I'm doing trying to do this longer Pozzoli video. What up, Octopus with no friends? 3 terabytes of open space. Yeah, see, like, I'm doing, like, I had to try to export this, like, hour-and-a-half long video the other day with, like, a ton of edits and stuff, and it took me 5 fucking hours, I swear to God, because it kept crashing, and I had to end up, like, exporting it in 720 instead of 1080p, which is a little disappointing, not the end of the world, but... It's just, yeah, it's gotten to a point. And I've been, like, doing, like, video editing stuff since I was, like, a young teenager. Probably, like, 13, 14 years old is when I bought my first, like, I think it was, like, Adobe Premiere Elements. And, it's such a double-edged sword because, like, I love editing. Like, the actual, like... kind of like artistic decision making of editing, like make the cut here, like throw in this sound effect, like throw in this meme or whatever. Like that part of editing is so fun to me that when like I get waylaid by like the technical element of like, well, the file size is too big and you blah blah blah, and now we're gonna buffer because you don't have the bit rate that blah blah blah, like all that shit that I just don't understand at all. I'm like, oh no, I have to learn a whole different like lexicon of terminology in order to do what I want to do on an artistic level, and that shit has always been intimidating to me. Like, it's the same reason I never got too deep into like music production stuff when I was in a band in high school, because like it's just you start learning when you start trying to learn like audio equipment shit. I'm just like, oh man, this is really going over my head. Oh, I probably should have kept tackle, but whatever, we'll live. But I do think I've got a little windfall coming in soon that should be able to get me a better computer and hopefully enable me to do all the lovely editing stuff I want to do without tearing my fucking hair out every time I try to export a longer file. Just double check I have a repel up. I think I do. Because this is where we get, yeah, cool. This is where we get our drill burb, baby. Normal gem, love that. We can definitely use a normal gem. Gem. Repels up. Come on, dust cloud. Give me a dust cloud. This can take a minute for sure. Drill burr, there we go. I appreciate the offer for help. Yes, my buddy David, who's been helping us produce our new podcast, has long offered to help me build a PC when the time comes. So I am excited to borrow from his expertise. But if I reach any limitations in his knowledge, I'll certainly ask for your help as well. Boom, 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 boom. Granulated sugar. The drill burr. I've been consistent with the names across attempts here. Grand sugar. Alright, be good. Have a good nature. Neutral! We will always take a neutral nature. Neutral is better than minus attack. Alright. You guys are good. Heal balls are great. Yeah, see, I'm going to get a desktop, because what I've been running, all I have now is this MacBook. And I use it for everything. I use it for editing and streaming and storage. And so we've had it for probably around close to 2 years, I think. So it's definitely starting to kind of do that thing where I haven't been good at, maintaining a healthy, memory storage, blah, blah, blah. It's just, that stuff gets out of hand if you're not a responsible computer owner, which I'm not the most responsible computer owner. PC custom build. I decided I had to put it together when I found a Sonic the Hedgehog printed ASR rock motherboard. That's tight. Yeah, see, I think that I'm probably gonna be sacrificing style for functionality if it comes to that. I don't know that I'm gonna have a pretty light up, glowy, tower like some people have. But if I can get one that's also the best thing or whatever. All right, we got a double battle. Blitzel, that's what we want to see. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Ooh, we're going to do a poll. We're going to do a poll in the chat for left or right. Start a poll. Left, right. Which one should we try to catch? Polls up. Which Blitzel do we want to try to catch? Alright, so far we got one vote in for right. Get your votes in now. Get your votes in now. Votes end shortly. Okay, we're going for the right. The rights have it. So we'll focus down on the left. Oop. Okay. Left is down. The rule of right. Oh, whoa. Well, we got lucky there. Yeah, I tend to pick things towards the right too, when it's a random thing. Nice. All right. Right it is. Now, I'm trying to remember what we named the last Blitzel. Confectioner sugar. Okay, that makes sense. Just go down the line. Now, the idea behind picking up a Blitzel, and this is all still us trying to get through the early game and get out of the mid game kind of stuff, is is her name Nemosa, I think is her name, the electric gym leader, handed us our ass when we were just catching the same 4 or 5 guys that I had been catching. And if we got motor drive, up special attack, down speed, I mean, that's not the end of the world. Motor drive, does that make you immune to electric? Or do you get damaged and still... Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're immune to electric. Perfect. And with the down speed nature, we can take advantage of that and hit back for neutral. This is great. In a maze, if you put your hand on the right wall, you'll eventually find the end. That is intriguing. That makes sense. Don't you think it would work either way if you just choose one or the other, right? Like, what, or is there some, like, weird trigonometry that I'm not thinking of that makes the right superior to the left in that scenario? Yes, an immunity, yeah, having an immunity to go into that electric gym is huge, and I think it merits, like, taking a spot on the team. As much as, like, I do think that ultimately, like, on the long timeline, Blitzel is limited in what they're really able to offer to the run and overall. Like, I think that gym was hard enough. Nice, okay. Yeah, I think that gym is just hard enough that it just, like, makes sense to catch something that helps you get through it. Flame charge. I think it's a little too late to growl, Purloin. I don't think that's going to save you here. Alright, cool. Let's see. Do I need to potion anybody? No, we're good. Alright, team. Let's go, gang. Let's dodge these optionals. It is Lenora time. Studio Matcha US is the soundtrack. We love Studio Matcha US, and they're very much so not AI music, and they're not AI animations that they do. I just think, like, look at that. It's just like a cute little animation of Pikachu and Pichu fluffing the rice ball, or whatever this is. Alright. We're going to try to get through Lenora. If we beat Lenora, we'll celebrate by introducing you to my sourdough starter that I just started. I think that Zebstrika, yeah, they're not great. Like, the build is bad overall. It's like one of those, like, jack of all trades, master of none situation. It's like mid in all its stats. But I think the design is cool. Like, I think they nailed the design. And I also think that they've got a pretty good move pool, all things considered. I think that's one of the things they make up for their kind of, like, shoddy build, is that, yeah, I mean, the move pool is perfectly decent. Okay, now I think we can get to dark grass here. I know that there's, like, later routes that, like, the dark grass is, like, locked behind HMs and stuff, but I think we can access some, and if we can, I'd love to go for a temple encounter. This all, oh wait, this is dark grass over here, right? That looks like a different colored grass. Pit of. I'm gonna turn down Pit of. As much as I actually like Pit of and Pheasant, I really don't see them contributing to this run. But I just want to make sure. Is this a double battle grass that I'm in? It looks like it is based on the levels. I just want to, for future reference, I want to make sure I'm in the right grass here. Show me one, just one double battle. Or am I just full of shit? Is this not dark grass after all, but just slightly different colored grass? No, the levels seem distinctly higher. I think that it's just not, I'm just not getting lucky with the double battle. Yeah, there's the temple we wanted. Well, that's what a Nuzlocke is. Whoa, you're not letting me run away? Fuck you. Alright. Back to it. Lenora. Oh yeah, we have to fight N again. God, all of these rival battles, they really stack up on you. Pit of is maybe my favorite normal flying type. just on an aesthetic level, quite possibly my favorite normal flying type. I'm a sucker for pigeons in real life, and Pidove is much more pigeony than any of the Pidgey line, certainly. And this art rare from Black Bolt is one of my favorite Pokemon cards of all time. I mean, just look at that. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't be surprised if what the artist did is literally went to, like, you know, some plaza that has a lot of pigeons where they live and took a picture and then, like, drew pigeons on top, Pidoves on top of them. Oh, they're all sleeping besides the one looking at you. It's just so fucking cute. This is one of the only blank spots in all of Unova in my Pokedex binder is I need a Musharna. We need Musharna. This Boldor here was a gift from Beard Dad. I thought that was nice of him. He gave me that and Lily's Ribombee. This is a trainer, right? We're fighting a trainer. Ooh, okay. Let's get the Leech Seed going. That's good. Oh my god. Don't crit me. I'm just a little monkey. Nice. There we go. Pignite, best in the line. Best in the line. My favorite of the three. I'll keep Tackle. Why not keep Tackle? Control deck. Normal flying. I mean, that's, they're fun. I like birds. People like shit on the birds sometimes, and I'm just like, birds rule. There's a lot of different kinds of birds. Pokemon should have a lot of birds. I would love to see more like flightless bird inspired things, like, which I think we might be getting in Winds and Waves with the grass starter. Brout is interesting to me. Brout's the sleeper pick. I think Pombon's gonna be, if they don't Incineroarify Pombon, it's gonna be an all-timer. If they just do like girly pop Arcanine, basically, because I think the rumor is Fire Fairy, then it's gonna be an all-timer. It truly will be one of the best they ever did. Gekwa is obviously for the girls and the gays and the theys. Gekwa with their little eyeliner look. I really, like, it's interesting, right? Like, water, I feel like, Inteleon, they made a sniper. They made, like, a, is he a frog? Is Sobble a frog? Or, I don't know. But they gave him a gun, basically, which is an interesting choice. Finger gun. The close type combo loops thing where, yeah, I like that too, where like where it's like one type is weak to, like, they did that with X and Y, right? Because, like, yeah, Chestnut's grass fighting, so it's double super effective into Water Dark, which is double super effective into Fire Psychic, and so on and so forth. Yeah, Gekwa is indeed eating. It's quite the moment. I honestly think, as far as like first stage starter reveals, it's like, it's a really strong one. I think Paldea's first stage starters is a really strong lineup as well, honestly. But I think the weakest one we've had in a long time is Sword and Shield. There's just something about... I think Sobble's mid, and I like him fine, but I just think he's mid. When you're competing with like Mudkip and Piplup, like, you know, Oshawott had a hard enough time with it, and Oshawott's pretty cool, like pretty cute. Froakie is what he is, you know. He's just the thing that gets you Greninja, basically. And then Poplio's so cute. I love the Primarina line. No hate on the Primarina line. Then we gotta go down here for the Poffins. But, you know, it's always in the evolutions. Like, are they gonna fuck up? There's always, like, you know, you see the first stage. They always reveal the first stage first, and you see them, and you go, wow, what could that be? And you have an idea of what you hope it turns into, and then you see what they actually give you. You know, Meowscarada is one that I think is... Meowscarada and Quaquaval both are, like... Quaquaval, like, I like fine. It's not where I thought Quaxley was going, but I always saw it and was like, that's actually pretty cool looking. Meowscarada is one where I'm just like, alright, it's, you know, it's a cat girl, like, with a mask, which is fine. It's a cool enough guy. I like playing with Meowscarada and TCG Pocket because it's the EX killer. Flower the Pig Knight here is just out for blood. He is not interested in playing around with you. All right, let's go actually to the Poke Center about it. Get our PP back. PP. Best water starter for me in a while. Gekwa. I haven't picked water since Gen 7. See, so, okay, my first game ever was Gold. And I picked Totodile. Then I went back and played Yellow. Not Yellow. I played Red first, I think. And I picked Squirtle. Because I was like, I like Squirtle. I like water types as well. Was kind of how I felt as a kid, certainly. What am I doing? But, yeah, and then Sapphire... Easy pick Mudkip. Mudkip, I think, is my favorite, my single favorite starter Pokemon. First stage, at least. I just think, and I love Swampert. I'm so on Marshtomp. I think Marshtomp is fine. But yeah, love Mudkip. So 1, 2, 3, I was water. I skipped Sinnoh, just because my family couldn't afford to buy me a DS when Sinnoh was coming out, and I didn't get a DS until Black and White. A friend gave it to me, so that we could play. Get off of me! There's a fly. There's flies everywhere in the world, not in my home. But Black and White was the first game ever where I was like, you know what? It's Snivy time, actually. It's Snivy o'clock. And I broke my water starter tradition because I just, like, wasn't feeling Samurott. I liked Oshawott fine, but again, like, when you're competing with, like, Mudkip and Piplup and Totodile, it's just kind of hard to look at Oshawott and say, like, that it's... For me, I just, like, I wasn't feeling it at the time. It's grown on me, for sure. But Gen 6, I went for Finnegan. So that was my first, like, fire out the gate, because I was just, like, Fire Psychic. I was psyched about it, because it was the first... Aside from Victini, it was the first Fire Psychic type, I think. Like, so it was the first non-mythical Fire Psychic. And then I skipped Alola. But if I hadn't skipped Alola, I'd be Poplio. So back to water. And then I went Grookey on Sword and Shield. I think for me, like, Rillaboom. And Grookey, Thwackey... Thwackey comes second to Raboot. Raboot's my favorite of the middles from Gen 8. But Grookey and Rillaboom run away with it in both the first stage and final stage, I think. Yeah, no, for real. And I like that there's variety. And quite frankly, like, yeah, the all the Pokemon end up growing on me to some extent, on a long enough timeline. Let's see here. God. Okay. We're going to lead corn syrup. That's what we like to do. We always like to lead with corn syrup. Eat up the Intimidate and set up a Leech Seed on her Herdier. Then we'll switch in our own Herdier. So we want, I think we want a Chesto Berry on Pignite. That's something we want. We don't want to fall asleep in front of Watchog. I think an Oran Berry on Vanilla is a little buffer that will be helpful. Corn syrup as well. And might as well confectioner sugar, because it's not like the Oran Berries are going to be at all relevant after this fight. They're barely relevant in this fight. So we're going to lead, yeah, we're going to lead corn syrup. This is the strategy. Sure wish Lemon was alive to see us through this, but Pidgeot EX and Pidgeot V. I gotta look into those Pidgeot cards, because the only Pidgeot card I know is like, is it like new Pidgeot EX with like, what is that thing's ability? Or is that even an EX card that I'm thinking of? It might be. I don't know. I'm not nearly as well versed in the TCG like game as I could be. Whenever I get into it, I usually just like stick to a deck and just kind of play on the ladder on TCG Live, and don't really adjust much from whatever I play. And I usually play a pretty high meta deck because I just like don't really, I don't know. I was a big what am I trying to say? I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh player as a kid. That was my major this is interesting. I think he's gotten 2 Leers on me. We're faster. Ooh! I did not like that. Okay, nice. Okay. Now, Watchog, this is kind of scary. Defense. Vanilla, unfortunately, has our best defense. Pignite, second best. Confectioner Sugar's got really bad defense. I'm just really scared of a Retaliate right now. Because I think we're in range. I think we just have to hope it doesn't hit Retaliate this turn. Oh, fuck. Corn Syrup, I don't think survives this. Definitely not a fucking crit. God damn it, dude. Ooh, well, that's a foundational ingredient, so we're back to starter selection. Oh, I really can't thank y'all enough for sitting through this early game as much as we have to sit through this fucking early game. God damn it. Oh my god. There was nothing to be done in that situation. I mean, like, the only thing that... If I'd thrown Pignite out, like... He might have been able to... I don't know that Pignite would be able to tank a critical hit Retaliate. All my Yu-Gi-Oh decks are actually right here. They're old. They're old decks. I played a little bit, very casually, around like 2012. But outside of that, I was playing almost exclusively just in the, like, pre-5Ds, like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. But here's what I got. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck I ever played is a deck centered around this card, Law of the Normal. And the whole thing is that if you have 5 level 2 or lower normal monsters on your side of the field and you play this, you destroy every magic and trap card on the field, yours and your opponent's. You and your opponent discard your entire hands. And then and it destroys all their monsters as well. So it's just like 5 guys on your side of the field ready to go. And so I got to use like cards you would never ever use, like Dharma Cannon, and Vanilla was a fun one. And then you would just like you'd set up things like Skill Drain, which like negates effect Pokemon from working, and then you don't have any effect Pokemon. And you have cards like Gravity Bind, so level 4 or higher monsters have to be in defense mode. You have where is it? This card, Human Wave Tactics. So anytime like a level 2 or normal monster would get killed on your side of the field, you could just immediately replace it with another one. God, that was fun. Because when I was playing it, we were like, you know, probably like middle school aged. And it was just, I think, just a little too clever for a lot of my friends. And they just could not keep up with it. And they would get so pissed off. They would get so mad when I would run the law of the normal on them, and I don't blame them. It was annoying. It was so fun though. I doubt it would ever like keep up in any way. Are we gonna? Okay, we were speed tying. I see. Not that this counts. We don't have Pokeballs yet. Yeah, I think like Yu-Gi-Oh, or I'm done. I don't think I'll ever play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like on any kind of competitive level anymore. Like the most I can picture ever doing with Yu-Gi-Oh is like if somebody was like, we're gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh with like a 2012 time limit for some reason. Maybe then I'd be like, oh, sign me up. You rang. Skull Servants. That's so funny. I've seen a few of those decks. I do have a Yu-Gi-Oh Switch game. I think it's like around here for some reason too, like on the ground in my room. I don't know, but it goes like deep into the Yu-Gi-Oh timeline. All right, what kind of Tepig did we get this time, I wonder? Another careful one. Tight. We love that. Yeah, that's definitely the right way to play. Like, you know, sometimes a card or like just like a type of play just like speaks to you. That's the law of the normal thing. Like, I just like really got a kick out of winning with like underpowered monsters that you would like never see in another reasonable person's deck for any other reason. It was just a good time. It was just a fun excuse to play with cards that like you don't get any use out of, that are easier to pull, you know, like than like the big expensive ultra rare cards. Like I was not buying singles when I was a kid. I pulled what I pulled and I built out of it what I could. And that's where this whole thing started. This train of thought is like I used to love building decks for Yu-Gi-Oh because like it was really easy. Like there were a lot of like guidelines, like basic guidelines for how to do it, and like the structure of it that made sense to me. Like you want a certain amount of monsters and a certain amount of this and like blah blah blah. So like the ratios made more sense to me, and I was like more familiar with more of the cards. And Pokemon like deck building is just a little more elusive to me because like I just don't feel like I have as good of a handle on the game as a whole as I did of Yu-Gi-Oh at the time that I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Now Yu-Gi-Oh is so far away from me. I don't know what the hell is going on. Only cards from 2005 and before, GOAT format. That intrigues me. 2005 that's early. What sets were coming out in 2005? Because I don't that sounds like it's even pre Soul of the Duelist to me. Yu-Gi-Oh! 2005 card sets. Oh no, we were getting into the Dark Revelation. That's that reprint. Flaming Eternity. Okay. Yeah, no, this is pretty much up to what I was playing with. Interesting. I mean, that makes sense. That's right around when I was in middle school. English TC. Elemental Energy. Oh, yeah, the Elemental Heroes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm remembering that stuff. That could be fun. Find Pokemon deck building more film. Yeah, well, one of the things about Pokemon deck building that I do think is like limiting compared to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or is like energy cards. Because in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you know, you have monster cards and then you have spell and trap cards. Like, there's nothing else. And so, like, there's not some weird, like, you know, energy to me is like, how would I put it? It's like, it's like having to put gas in your car. It's the gas of your car in your car of deck building. You know, where it's like, it doesn't really do anything but make your deck playable in the first place. And like, so that was one thing that like trying to like get back into Pokemon TCG after like being a Yu-Gi-Oh! Person, I was like, energy cards are annoying. Like, they take up so many slots in your deck. The deck that I won a tournament with at my local card shop last year, though, that was that deck only has, I think, like 6 energy cards in it. I think it only has like 3 fire and 3 psychic energies, and you just have like a lot of like cards that grab energy. But that's another thing that's obnoxious about it, right? Is like, you don't just have cards like energy cards themselves to factor in. You have to factor in all the cards that you put in your deck just to get energy cards out of your deck. Like, it's the energy system is the thing that and it's like, it's good and bad. Yeah, Magic has lands, right? That was another reason. It's like the same reason that I had a hard time getting into Magic when I was a kid, because I made these, you know, all my friends in elementary school, we played Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what we played, like, up until 6th grade. And then when I got into middle school, I made some friends that played Magic. Like, they had older siblings and stuff, and that's what they knew. So they tried to get me into Magic. And, yeah, I had a bit of, like, this kind of just, like, learning curve thing where I was just like, this feels a little strange on the, like, having to like manage resources or whatever. But what I do remember is I went out and I bought a Magic structure deck, and the very first time I ever played Magic, I beat this friend of mine at the time who had been playing for years, and he was upset. He did not enjoy being beat by a new player. But you know, I didn't build the deck. That's just it. Like, it's, if you have a good deck, knowing how to pilot a good deck is way easier than knowing how to build a good one. And so if you're building your own deck, like, it can be hard to beat a structured deck if you're just like a kid playing with the cards you have. All right, we get our lemon back. We're going to be more careful with this lemon. We don't want this lemon to die before Lenora. Lemon, what do you got going on? Sassy? I'll take it. That's fine. Yeah, and I mean, that's the deck I was playing with was this very, like, it's a Dragapult deck. I play Dragapult. It's just fun to play the best Pokemon. It's Dragapult Dusknoir. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know that it, I think there's probably builds for it in the more recent format, but I know that there's a lot of the supporter cards specifically got phased out in the most recent rotation. I think it's like I might even be up to J. This would tell me I believe this is Ascended Heroes. This should be the most recent. Actually, Chaos Rising is the most recent. Beedrill, where you at? Is it I or J now? It's J. They're all the way up to J. That's wild. Ascended Heroes is like 3 months old. What the fuck are we talking about? That's crazy. Yeah, I think Bruce Lee's right about that. I think his assessment is smart. Because the thing about playing one deck over and over and over again and just like not switching is that you start to like, it's like chess, right? Where you start to get yourself into the same situation repeatedly. So you start learning like, oh, last time I was in this situation, I tried to respond like this and it did this. Like, you know, you start doing like scenario math that like doesn't come naturally to you if you're just playing to the like obvious strengths of a deck. Like, there's something about like, yeah, playing to your outs, I guess, is like what you learn to do better when you play the same thing over and over and over again. I didn't level these Pokemon up. Is N's Purloin finally going to be a challenge? I really don't want to end this stream until I beat Lenora. I'm kind of pissed off. If Lemon hadn't died, I think we would have been able to get through that. Okay, real quick. I feel like I'm... Okay, text speed, everything's right. Alright. We still just don't have running shoes. Alright, it's Lillipup time. I sure fucking hope. Oh, here we go. Mom's about to run up on us. Hello, Mom. Thank you for the shoes. Always keeping me funky fresh in my new shoes. Alright, enjoying the trip. Lillipup. Okay. Dupe claws. Oh, we should heal. We should heal and we should rare candy a little. We should actually rare candy a lot, I think. Oh, damn it. I'll have to buy more potions later. That's fine. Let's get up to 12. 13 was pushing it a little bit. 12. Lemon. Did I check Lemon's nature yet? I don't think I have. Detect. Alright, cool. Lemon, show me your nature. What do you got going on? Another sassy. Maybe I did check that already. Alright, Lillipup. Vital Spirit Lillipup. It's all we want. I don't think it's too much to ask. Vital Spirit Lillipup. Another Pat Rat. It's fine. No! No! I'm not catching a Purloin. I'm simply not doing it. That sucks. I think this happened to us Well, I can't remember if we didn't get a Pat Rat or we didn't get... No, yeah, we didn't get a Lillipup on attempt 9. We managed. We managed. We'll manage again. Fucking Purloin. Alright. It's fine. We will survive. This actually kind of frees us up to catch whatever we find in Pinwell Forest. No, see, so Purloin KO fodder, the problem there is that if I'm gonna catch something as KO fodder, there's better options in Pinwheel Forest. Like, Pinwheel Forest basically doesn't have a bad option if all I'm doing is kind of like fleshing out the party. The other thing is I only have 11 possible encounters in this run. I only have 11 ingredients, and only 3 of those ingredients can be sacked. And the thing is, in theory, like, this is a really hard Elite Four, particularly the champion fight, going like back to back to back, with Ann and Getsis in the restaurant. So, a sackable ingredient, ideally, I want it to be as good of a Pokemon as it can possibly be. Like, Patrat here is kind of like a weird exception for like getting through the early game. And the thing is, Patrat is better than Purloin. It just is. It's got better moves for what I want to use it for. And it's just, yeah, it's just a more versatile support Pokemon. So I just can't justify catching Purloin as one of my 3 possible sackable ingredients in the entire run. Whereas in Pinwheel Forest, like if we get to Pinwheel Forest without a Lillipup, and I roll Pidove this time, then I'll probably catch the Pidove in this run. Yeah, this is no Pozzole indeed. Pozzole had like 30 ingredients. So that in and of itself was so much easier. The lasagna I made was also close to like 30 ingredients, like 28 ingredients, I think. The pizza I made, I gave myself like unlimited ingredients because it was a randomizer of like a game with like the national decks all the way up to like Gen 9 Teal Mask stuff. So Pan Sage, we're picking you up. Corn syrup, the return of corn syrup. But yeah, this is my first Cheflocke that with this limited of an encounter pool. So I'm really kind of learning as I'm going how to manage those resources. And we're kind of still very much so in like, I'd call it like an experimentation phase of this challenge. In that, like, obviously we're struggling to get through the early game as is. So it's kind of a situation where like, I'm doing things like catching Patrats, which at first, in the first couple of attempts, I was like very actively foregoing because I was like, I want to save my encounters for like the best Pokemon, because I was thinking basically every encounter had to be a potential Elite Four bring. And that might be true, but it was becoming so impossible to get through the early game with that mentality that it was like, well, I mean, if I don't start catching some Pokemon in these early routes, like, I'm never gonna get to the point where I can catch those better, like, potentially Elite Four worthy Pokemon. So yeah, we're kind of still, like I said, in this kind of almost like experimentation phase, and like, we might come to find that, like, we get through this early game by making these different concessions, like catching Patrat or catching Blitzel or whatever it is. And we might find that, like, we get to the Elite Four and we're just, like, fucked because I didn't save enough encounters for whatever it is I need to get through the rest of the game. And so, you know, right now we're just kind of trying to push ahead and get personal best results, and part of that is like not catching Purloin. No Purloin, because I know Purloin isn't gonna do what, like, a Watchog can do for me. Oh, I need to buy potions again. That's right. I love the decision to combine Poke Center and Pokemart. I'm so glad they did that. It just seemed like Pokemarts in particular, like, piss me off so much when I'm playing like Gen 3 games or games that have Pokemarts in them still. I'm just like, I can't think of one NPC in any game, in any Pokemart, that talking to them gives you something of value. Except for maybe like the Celadon, like the department stores, but that's a little different. That's, you know, like 5-story building. Like regular ass, you know, blue roof Pokemart, like the most useless NPCs of any building, consistently just useless. And it pisses me off because I, like, you know, the developers are always like, ooh, talk to all the NPCs, you never know who's got what for you or whatever. This guy, nothing. Nothing. Alright, we will lead with Tepig, of course, and we will level cap. It's nice that this first gym is as free as it is if you pick up your monkey. You just gotta pick up your monkey. Yeah, I mean, on an aesthetic level, I can appreciate the separation of the two, but just on the convenience level of like playing like Nuzlocke over and over again and like wiping and just like, you know, I'm not a speed runner by any means, obviously, but like it is one of those things where it can get it can just get a little much to just have to walk it back and forth to do basic stuff. My god, that Lilliput did not want to go down. Alright. Corn syrup. Bring it home. We call them corn syrup because it makes this... It gets Panpour stuck. He's stuck. He can't compete with us. There's nothing he can do. He has workup and water gun. He's fucked. He's stuck. Alright, cool. Fennel. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Talk, talk, talk. Dream miss, dream miss. Hidden machine. Cut, cut, cut. Yes, yes, yes. It's so funny how this game does not, like, heal your Pokemon. You really have to remember to go back to the Poké Center. Fennel's like, hey, I know you just, like, had a big fight in that gym. Come with me. Don't worry, your Pokemon can be hurt. It's fine. Let's do a couple rare candies just off the gate. Out the jump. Out the gate. Lemon. Corn syrup. And then I feel like we're good to go, right? From there? Yeah. Oh, we gotta teach one of them cut. That's what I'm thinking about. Cut, cut, cut. Corn syrup. I'll leave that to you. Fury swipes. Bianca, what's up? You and your hat. I just like, and like I said, I wouldn't mind the Pokemart and the Poké Center being split up as much if they would put some fucking NPCs in the Pokemarts that did something ever. Like, oh, I'll trade you this, or oh, here's a free this, or oh, like, anything. Alright, we see Pat Rat. We gotta slow down to make sure we're not getting in bide trouble. Alright, we're good. We're safe. Purloin. Flame charge. Yeah, just in general, like one of the things that I really like about certain fan-made games I've played when it comes to the NPCs, a lot of NPCs, because like it can't just be that every NPC gives you something or offers you a trade. Like there's only so much of that a game can reasonably do. I get that. But what I like that other things will do is they'll give you like a mission, and then you can win something from doing the mission. Like the fan-made games. Pokemon Unbound has a ton of optional missions that are like genuinely kind of fun to do, and give you genuinely interesting rewards. And I don't see why the mainline Pokemon games couldn't be the same way. All right. We're making up lost time pretty good. We're getting through this early game pretty quick. Yeah, world building info. I think that's fair. Oh god damn it, Fennel. Yeah, it's like when they're just like at the Poké Center you can heal your Pokemon. And it's like, oh yeah? That's really interesting. Or like, oh, did you know that the PC is a PC? It's like I actually did know that. I did know that. Okay, thank you both. You're both awesome. All right, let's go. Weedle deedle doo. Ooh, it feels like just moments ago we were catching our Drillbur. I feel like we're making good time. We're making good time. Flame charge tackle. Look at you go. Look at you go. Oh, I gotta go buy repels while I'm thinking about it. And probably more potions, right? No, I got the potions. Great. Repel, repel. Squeedle deedle doo. Squeedle deedle dum. Oh yeah, we gotta fight. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Like, that they really don't, like, give you straight-up tutorials a lot of time for certain things. Like PCs but ultimately, like, for me, I guess I just wish that, like, there was, like, a mode, and this is totally impractical and not real, but I'd love it if there was, like, a toggle switch for, like, I've played this game a million times. Like, let me skip a bunch of stuff, because I've played this game a million times. I know what a Pokeball is. I know how to catch a Pokemon. I know what types are. There are things in Pokemon that they literally, like, almost never explain anywhere. Like, little mechanics, like the fact that Body Slam works better on Pokemon that have used Minimize. Like, weird ones like that, where I can see, like, having that information hidden somewhere is fun, rewarding kind of stuff. So I think that's a fair argument. Turn this repel on. I used the repel. Alright, let's fight these assholes. Alright, he used Bide. Still storing energy, yes. And we're okay. We're good. I'm traumatized by Bide. Bidetized. That's not accurate. Yeah, there we go. Alright, double battle time. La 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 la. La la. La 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 la. hone in on the right, and then take him down on the left. I mean the opposite of that. Alright, cool. Did we lose? You did lose. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Get out of the cave. Bye, Sharon. Bye. Alright. It's Drillbur time. It's Drillbur time. Yeah, let's go. Drillbur. By the way, I'm always playing with shiny claws. In case I've not made that clear in the past. So if we ever get a shiny Pokemon, even if it's an encounter mapped thing, like even if I already have one, I'm catching that Pokemon. If I get a full odds shiny in a vanilla game, there's no way I don't catch it and play with it. I've heard that breathing through your nose is better for getting oxygen to your brain. Wow, this Drillbur really doesn't want to be caught. Okay, corn syrup, I'm going to bring you in. You're going to hit lick. You're going to lick this guy. Or gal. Yeah, I think, honestly, I really do think, like, a hard mode would be, for a franchise that's 30 years old, a hard mode seems like a nice thing to do for the fandom. To just be like, we know a lot of you have played this. And a hard mode sounds like one where, like, yeah, you can get around maybe the tutorials a little bit and just get, yeah, some different information. Granulated sugar. Ooh, wah, wah, wah. All right, let's do some candy time. It's candy time, guys. Crunch over bite. You heard me. I think we have a minus speed nature on that guy too, so I think that if I remember doing the math correctly, I think Crunch is like the strongest move Watchog gets by level 20. Because even with stab, tackle isn't as good. It's like 80 base damage versus 75 or something. Alright, cool. And then some potions, because why not? You know what? Water. Hey, if Tepig's so weak to water, then why is he drinking this water? I think that's, honestly, I could totally see Pokemon. They might never, I doubt that they would ever adapt to like a true like Nuzlocke mode. But something like that, or at least, yeah, just like increased levels, an enforced level cap, that kind of thing, I could see them doing. And I think it could be a lot of fun. I think it'd be really rewarding for people. And like, yeah, I just think... hard mode is just like, oh, you're the GOAT. You just, you fight such hard battles. Hey, we get our Lillipup after all. That is fine by me. Vital Spirit, fingers crossed, Vital Spirit. I think we can get a tackle off on this guy. Yeah. Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit, Vital Spirit. Let's go. Alright, Vanilla. Vanillipup. We pick one up after all. That's great. I am a little disappointed to not get the Blitzel. That has me a little concerned, but I think maybe instead we'll just try to grab an extra, like, ground Pokemon in the desert or something. I don't know. Maybe even, like, Dwebble could be good. We'll have to figure it out as we get closer to it. That'll be next week's problem. Turn the repel back on. Do some rare candy. Oh, I didn't check. What do you got going on, Vanilla? Why don't they want me to have an intimidate user? I'll take it up special defense. That is so fucking annoying. We keep getting pick up Lillipup. Whatever. Better than no Lillipup. Takedown. We'll get rid of Odor Sleuth. Yeah, that could be cool. Can't heal at Pokemon centers. Can only catch... Like, yeah, like an enforced monotype run, like with a toggle switch. Stuff like that could be really, really fun, and ultimately not that hard for them to add into their code, I imagine. Like, I just don't think it would be that big of a deal. Yeah, I'd love, like, an enforced monotype run. Healing stuff. Permaboxing, like, permadeath stuff. I think they'd have to be, like, careful about permadeath runs because, like, there's kind of, like, a tangible value to, like, Pokemon you catch in-game because, like, you want to be able to, like, have them so they're still tradable to, like, Pokemon Home and Champions and whatnot. But I do think, like, they could make a Pokemon, like, no longer playable. O-N. I feel the same. I don't know what I feel the same, but I'm just going to tell you I feel the same. Flame charge. Do it again. And a tackle for good measure. Tempole. We know what to do here. Corn syrup. It's corn syrup time. Can you imagine how a toad would react to corn syrup? Nice. Okay, we got lucky here. Leech Seeding. And then, yeah, we'll just keep corn syrup out and hit another Leech Seed. Why not? Failure. Great work. Corn syrup. Good job. Fuck you, N. Alright. I think we made pretty good time getting back to this second gym. My wife. Lenora's that guy's wife. Refuses to come out of the box. Yeah, something like that. Like, they could add a story element to it for sure. Yeah, just like a thing where it's like, it's just... There's a lot of ways they could justify it, ultimately. My whole thing is I doubt they'd ever want to give it credit on that level of, like... I just don't think they'd ever want to, like, credit the inventor of Nuzlocke. Wow, lucky lived there. For giving them the idea of adding, like, a Nuzlocke feature. Like, obviously, they'd never use the term Nuzlocke, that kind of thing. But I think, like, ultimately it's their property, and they can use whatever feature they want. They can steal whatever fan-made thing they want, besides an actual, like, piece of artwork. Game mechanics, they can take that and just rename it. But I also think part of it is probably for them. I don't think they want people to think about Pokemon, like, dying. So it would definitely have to be something like the Pokemon refuses to come out of the box. Something like that makes it so, like, it's not a matter of, like, life or death. It's just a matter of, like... Right. No Nuzlocke in Pallet Town. Ooh, we'll keep tackle. Get everybody up to 19. I like Watchog. I've come around on Watchog. Not that I ever, like, really hated Watchog, but I think it's, like, I think people do hate on Watchog. And I think that, like, as far as, like, the kind of, like, the pseudo-radicates of the series, Watchog is low-key one of the more fun ones to play with on a moveset level. Like, Hypnosis, Detect early on like this. Bide even is, like, a fun move to play around with. Like, I don't really like to use it because I just don't trust myself to pay enough attention. I've thought about doing, like, an Atla run of some kind. Like, do a thing where you play as, like, you do, like, an avatar cycle where you play, like, a fire run into a, like, flying, so air run into a water run into an earth run. I think it could be fun. Something like that. Like, I think I'd have to talk to this bookcase next. I see Watchog hate. I see people talk shit. And I think Watchog is, like, it's a fun design. And I just think the moveset is, like, it's more interesting than, like, a lot of those pseudo-radicates tend to be. It's certainly a better moveset than they give Furret. Furret's moveset is just, you know, worse Raticate, basically. It's just like Raticate without Hyperfang. God, Gen 4 Furret is so fucking punished. The Furret solo Nuzlocke of Heart Gold is one of the hardest things I ever attempted to do. And, I still might do it someday. I still might try to go back to that drawing board at some point. Because I don't know. It just sucks. The first time I ever got to Claire, the 8th gym in the Furret solo Nuzlocke, I lost, obviously. But then I was just like, just for my own edification, my own information, my own curiosity, like, I replayed it with that same Furret. And I got lucky, but I beat her. I did beat Claire one time in, like, a non-legal battle. And it just has me feeling like it's possible. And I kind of, like, want to get back at least as far as Claire in one of those solo Nuzlocke runs, the solo Furret runs, to give myself a chance to, like, hypothetically fight the Elite Four just to see what it would feel like. I don't know. One thing I've toyed around with is with the solo Nuzlocke, Furret Heart Gold solo Nuzlocke ideas. Like, I've thought, what if I used healing items or, like, battle items? But it just feels like that is, like, it really is something, like, no. Oh my god. I over-leveled vanilla. That is annoying. Well, that's, you know, that is what it is. Okay. Alright. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Chesto Berry on flour, Chesto Berry on corn syrup, Orange Berry on lemon and grand sugar. We're going to do the classic Hand Sage lead, but I think what I want to try to do is set up Lemon the Watchog to beat her Watchog so that we can hit Detect on the boosted Retaliate turn. So that is the goal, is to get Watchog in to knock out Herdier here. So we're going to hit this Leech Seed as always. Woo! Corn syrup. Sorry you had to take such a hit. Alright, Lemon, I'm going to bring you right on in. oof. Those takedowns are no joke. Okay, let's do a turn of Leech Seed. Wonderful. Love it. And let's get a crunch in. Oh, we're faster. Oh, Lemon, look at you go. See, yeah, having our own Watchog makes this fight so much easier. Okay, nice. And they can just go for the Leer. Let's hit a Confuse Ray. Let's avoid Hypnosis. Hell yeah. Okay, we're getting through Lenora this time. Maybe we can get a defense drop in. Oh, yes. This is a different kind of fight. When you bring your own Watchog to this fight, it just hits so different. Oh, Lemon. What a goat. What a goat. Let's go. I was so... just beat Bombardier. The, like, what are they called? They're not totem Pokemons. That's something else. But the Bombardier fight I remember being kind of silly. That fight went down smooth. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, Black and White does get hate. It did, and it still does to this day, and it certainly did at the time. But I was stoked. I was like, when I first heard, like, oh, they're doing a brand new 150, I was like, let's fucking go. I don't have to see a fucking Rattata or a Zubat or a Pidgey for an entire game. For an entire game, I don't have to run into a Tentacool or whatever. And these are all Pokemon that I like a lot, but it just gets exhausting when it's every single fucking game over and over again. Oh, there's this guy, there's that guy again, like, and it just is so, it was a bold and cocky move, and I think it's cool. And I look back at the Unova Pokedex, and no, it's not perfect, but neither is the Kanto Pokedex. There's some duds in the Kanto Pokedex that we just, like, look at with, you know, rose-colored glasses. Titan Pokemon, that's what they're called. Spearow and Fearow are nothing-ass Pokemon. Venomoth is a moth. You know, like, there's just, like, it's just a weird thing to look at the Unovan Pokedex and say that, like, I would say that overall, I think the Unovan Pokedex has, I think Kanto Pokedex has lower lows and higher highs. I think the Unovan Pokedex is a more kind of, like, balanced throughout experience, is how I see it. Oh, I didn't even go for... I love Venomoth, don't get me wrong. Seal and Gold, yeah. And I like all of those Pokemon. There's not one Kanto Pokemon I don't like. I just think when people like, when people look at, like, people talk about the ice cream Pokemon, like, they go after the Vanillish line, I'm like, they're fucking icicles, bro. They're icicles, and they're adorable. And, like, they actually play kind of fun. They're, like, actually kind of fun to play with. And I'd rather play with a Vanillux than, like, certainly, like, a Jinx. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Tell me that's not cute as hell. I mean, come on. He's having a good time. They're having a good time. I prefer Venonat. That's one of the things about Venomoth, is that I think Venonat is, like, distinctly cuter. But, like, Unovan Pokemon hit. Scolipede, Lilligant, Whimsicott, Seismitoad, Darmanitan, Crocodile's an all-timer, Crustle's cool as hell, Scrafty's cool as hell, Cofagrigus, the fossils are underrated, Caracasa and Archeops are underrated. I just think people hate for the sake of hating sometimes. Alright, let's get this Tympole. Repel. Yeah, no, for real. It was like, I do think Black and White came out at just the right time for, like, the people who played the original games to be reaching an age where, like, everything's dumb. You know, they're like teenagers or they're like college-age kids. They're like, everything sucks, actually. Okay, we gotta switch out on this Venipede. And yeah, it's like the vanilla ice Pokemon is cool. Yeah, it's exactly as clever as a magnet Pokemon. I totally agree. Or Voltorb. I mean, to this day, Voltorb is like the laziest Pokemon. And like mimics are a thing, right? A Koga deck sounds fun in general. I like Koga. I think he's one of the less like it's what's interesting about Koga to me is like on like a typing level, like yeah, he's like a poison type user, but his like team is kind of weirdly incongruous to pit of. God damn it. Well, that is not the move when we've got Nemosa on the horizon. Let's turn that repel back on. Time to get through Pinwheel Forest. Berg. Janine, no, Koga, my Koga is, Johto Elite Four Koga. With the Ariados. Like, I just always thought Koga was so, like, the aura goes up exponentially in the Elite Four from his team as a gym leader. Yeah, the Butterfree Venomoth swapping evolution line theory, I honestly think it does make sense. And it would not at all surprise me to find out that they, like, designed Caterpie and Metapod and knew it was going to be their early route, you know, bug. And then they designed, like, Venonat, Butterfree, you know, whatever the order took place. Maybe they did, like, Caterpie, Metapod, Venomoth. Maybe they set up that line. And maybe they had Venonat, Butterfree set up. And we're just like, oh, Butterfree's going to be way more popular than Venomoth, probably. So, what if we just put this as the earlier Pokemon? And it has that, like, added element of, like, being an Ash Pokemon from the TV show. Yeah, I think it just makes sense. I mean, the eyes tell. Because Caterpie's eyes are similar to Venomoth's eyes, and Venonat's eyes are similar to Butterfree's eyes. I mean, it just makes sense. The coloring, even. The purple to purple thing for Venonat to Butterfree. A Mega Ariados would be fucking awesome. That's the thing, is, like, there's a lot of Pokemon that, like, just have not been revisited. That's one of the things I was the most excited about from Paldea, is that they actually revisited Johto Pokemon, which hasn't been done, I don't think, since Sinnoh. You know, the great Sinnoh evolution sweep. And even then, they only did a few. They did, like, Ambipom, Mismagius, Honchkrow, technically Porygon 2, Gligar, and Piloswine. So they did like 5. One of those is a Kanto Pokemon. Without Porygon, if you don't count the Porygon line, they evolved 5 Johto Pokemon in the Sinnoh games. No, wait. 7. Yanmega and Togekiss as well. And Weavile, 8. They did 8. Which is a good amount. But yeah, it was fun to Clodsire, Paldean Wooper, all-timer. Clodsire, so cute. I love Clodsire. Farigiraf is, like, one of my favorite, like, post the gen it came out evolutions that they've ever done. I love Farigiraf so much. But a Mega Ariados would whip. I came up with this idea on a stream a while back, where I think that the way they did, like, emo goth, like, punk rock Lanoon Zigzagoon line for Galar, I think they should do, like, a kawaii, like, girly pop, Centret Furret regional variant in one of these upcoming gens. I think it could be really, really cute. I think they could print money. Yeah, for exactly. Like, because I liked Girafarig just fine. You know, it wasn't a usable Pokemon in like a competitive sense, but like it's a really cute guy. Like the design's perfect. But Farigiraf is just so they nailed it. The tail eating like the face, basically, like the whole concept is just so cool. And the fact that it can close the tail and like do that intimidating like face at you, and the armor tail ability, so good. So good. That he got his own like signature ability is just like the icing on the cake. Alright, Mr. Plasma. Farigiraf. The Dunsparce is also really funny. I'm a fan of the Dunsparce. King Gambit was cool. That's another thing, is like I think there's plenty of Unova Pokemon that they could give an update. Girly Pop Furret, I feel like you kind of like lean into the shiny. Like the shiny Furret scheme is like on the edge of being pink almost. So just like lean into that, make it like a fully like pink, you know, spread. Maybe make it like make its hair maybe a little like fluffier, like almost kind of like Pomeranian vibes. You know, I know we're doing Pombon already, but I think it could look, I think it could work. I think it could be really, really cute. And I think you could give it like an Obstagoon style like third evolution, because my whole thing is like I don't want him to touch Johto for it, you know. Why mess with perfection? It's not a good Pokemon. It's not a Pokemon. It's never, Furret is never going to be a Pokemon you play with in VGC. So like, it is what it is. Like you don't need it to be good. So don't try to fix it. Don't try to evolve it. A Mega Furret, you know, if they want to try it, they can try it. It's their game. But I think the regional variant thing is the thing that I would be interested to see how that looks. And I think they could do it. Because Furret itself is kind of like on the androgynous almost. There's like so cute that it's girly in Pokemon, and then there's like you know, tough looking, it's clearly like made with boys in mind kind of thing. But then there's there's this middle ground where it's like it's cute, but it's like it's not so cutesy that it leans into being like explicitly like girly, and that's kind of where Furret is, I think. And so that's why I think like Linoone is kind of similar, where it's like Linoone is not particularly cute, but it is like kind of tough looking, I guess. So I think like that same neutrality that Furret has is just on the opposite spectrum of the neutrality that Linoone has, and they took Linoone this way so they can take Furret this way. I think it would work. Angora Ferret, I gotta see this. Angora Ferret. Oh, come on. Yes, exactly. Just give it this like wavy, fluffy hair. And yeah, give it like pink shading. Like pink and white. Like mostly white with like pink accents. The way that Furret in actuality is kind of mostly white but with brown accents. Yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking here on the Here Furret channel. We've got the ideas. I believe in your ability to, yeah, KO that Sandile. Let's go. I think we can get through Berg. I actually think we can get through Berg. Hair is a dress. Yes. Yes. That's great. And yeah, because if they want to go with in the same direction of like Obstagoon, where they put it on 2 legs and make it a little more humanized or whatever, yeah, they could have the thing where the hair like extends down. It could be really cool. We're cooking here. I almost don't want to like cook too hard because it's like it's funny, you get this kind of effect sometimes with Pokemon where fans will like come up with too good of an idea and then the Pokemon company can't do it because somebody already did it and they don't want to be accused of stealing. Like, that's why we got Toilet Seat for Alligator, Mega for Alligator, which I think is awesome. I've loved Mega for Alligator from the moment I saw it. Shout outs to one of the most beautiful shots in all of Pokemon. Alright, let's go. Heal. Oh, a black shiny. I mean, they would never let you... They would never... The thing about Pokemon with their shinies is that, like, very, very rarely are they ever actually going to give you the coolest thing that they could give you for some reason. They like to phone it in on the shinies. But that would be sick. Obstagoon's shiny is nuts. It's like blue and red. It's very loud. I like it a lot, honestly. Megas being silly is part of the whole design. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Well, so that's just it, actually. So the first round of Megas from X and Y, for the most part, it's just like, what if it just looked bigger and a little stronger? Like, they really didn't do anything that crazy. Like, the closest thing I can think of is, like, you know, giving Ampharos the long hair was an interesting move. But, like, Mega Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, they're all just like, oh, he's got more cannons. His tree's a little taller on his back. Oh, he's a scarier looking Charizard now. You know, like, Mega Beedrill. Oh, he's even scarier looking. Like, they didn't really do anything conceptually that fun or silly with the original Megas. And that's actually what I love so much about the new Megas, is that they kind of did lean into silly on so many of them. Mega Victory Bell, silly. Yeah, Mega for Alligator, kind of silly. I know there's other examples that aren't occurring to me. Mega Kangaskhan's kind of silly. I would say that Mega Kangaskhan is more of a troll than it is implicitly like a silly idea. It's kind of like, you know, it kind of still goes along with like, oh, it looks slightly tougher because now the baby is like just big enough to fight or whatever. Like, it's yeah, I would say it's almost more of a troll. Whereas like the newer Megas, a lot of these newer Megas like are explicitly actually kind of like silly. Starmie, that's a great example. Mega Starmie is just kind of silly. But I would say Mega Starmie is silly in that, like, in my mind, a troll is where, like, they set up an expectation and then, like, do something that kind of, like, falls flat to that expectation. And for me, I feel like Mega Starmie is, like, not something anyone ever expected in the first place. Like, I don't think there was an expectation. So to do it at all, it is kind of silly in a way. So, and to do it where like the way they did it, maybe it's both. Maybe that's an example of one that's both silly and a bit of a troll. That's a good point. Mega Crabominable, I think, is for me kind of just in that same vein of like, it's just bigger, scarier looking. Ooh, we can evolve. Let's do this. We can evolve Pansage. Yeah, we want to learn Seed Bomb. That's the last thing we really need to hold out for. And then we can go get our Leaf Stone on the dock. Wow, we're really going to beat Berg. I think we're going to, yeah, we're going to take it all the way to Berg. I like Mega Crabominable. I like Mega Go Lurk a lot. I think Mega Go Lurk is one where it's like... I like when they add, like, a flourish. Like, I think, like, an example of a Mega that I think kind of just falls flat are Mega Venusaur and Mega Blastoise. Like, I think the Mega Charizards are actually kind of cool. Certainly Mega Charizard X obviously has a very unique identity with the whole color swap and the type change or whatever. I think I actually like Mega Charizard Y a lot as well, because even though it's kind of doing more or less what I'm about to criticize Mega Blastoise and Mega Venusaur for, it's like it's the same as Charizard, but it's just kind of like elevated enough that it feels like it has its own identity to me. Whereas like Mega Blastoise, literally, it's like they made him a hunchback to give him one more cannon, you know. And Mega Venusaur, it's just like, oh, what if the flower was a little taller? Literally, like, they do like almost nothing to it. All 150, the original. I mean, that's where are we at with that? We've got, yeah, all 3 starters, obviously. Butterfree got a Gigantamax, but no Mega. Beedrill, obviously, Mega. Pidgeot, Mega. Raticate, I kind of doubt they'll ever do a Mega Raticate. I think the closest we'll get is having a Alolan Raticate, like getting a regional variant. Like, because when I think of like a Mega, what I think they're actually doing is like they're revisiting a line. And so I think what we get sometimes with regional variant is like the closest thing they're gonna do to that is they're revisiting it, you know. Then after Raticate, Fearow, I'd be hard pressed to think. Fearow is one they've never revisited in any way as of yet. They might, but it is a pretty unspectacular design, honestly. At the end of the day. Yeah, but I do think at some point, like, all of them getting an alternate form or some form of revisiting, I do think will probably happen. They will probably go back to Spearow at some point. After that, it's Ekans Arbok. That hasn't been revisited. A Mega Arbok was sitting right there. We really should have gotten a Mega Arbok in this last game. I like Fearow. I think he just, yeah, he has that, like, intimidating aura to him that, like, Pidgeot lacks. Like, Pidgeot is more of, like, a stalwart paladin feel, and Fearow is more of, like, a rogue kind of feel. So, Arbok, Mega Arbok, I think, could absolutely be done. Obviously, the Pikachu line, they've revisited in a million ways. After Pikachu, Sandshrew Slash got Alolan forms. After Sandshrew Sandslash, we've got the Nidoran lines. I've said this a million times on stream. I've said this a million times. I stand by it. I think it's a good idea. Nidoking, Nidoqueen Megas with Parental Bond. Give them the Mega Kangaskhan ability. Do the Mega Kangaskhan with Nidoking, Nidoqueen. Give them little Nidorans, maybe of opposite gender, whatever you want to do. But I think Parental Bond, Mega, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, and then give them a special physical split. Make Mega Nidoking more of a physical attacker, make Mega Nidoqueen more of a special attacker. I think it would be a lot of fun. After Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Clefairy, they gave us Mega Clefable. They also gave us Cleffa. That's something to keep in mind, is the baby Pokemon. After that, Vulpix Ninetales got Alolan forms. Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff. Technically, all we've gotten from them is Igglybuff, and if you also want to count the, you know, the giving them the fairy type as a form of revisiting, which I think it does count, at least to an extent. After that, Zubat, Golbat. They got Crobat in Gen 2. That's an example of one I think has technically been given, you know, an evolution. It's been given a treatment since Kanto, but it's, you know, Gen 2 is a long time. They could revisit the Zubat line in some way. A Mega Crobat could be cool as hell. After Zubat, Oddish Gloom, Vileplume. They gave us Blossom. We could go for a Mega Vileplume. Or a regional Oddish. I could see a regional Oddish being a fun thing to play around with. Like, Screamtail is also, yeah, definitely a revisiting of sorts. Gloom, Vileplume. It goes Paris, Parasect. That's a line they have not revisited in any way. So we've only hit a couple. Spearow, Fearow, Ekans, Arbok. The Nidoking, the Nidolines, and yeah, Parasect is one of the only ones that has never been revisited in any way. We're gonna hook up a Pecha Berry onto Flower, and just for good measure, who do we think? I think we'll go Lemon. I know, I love Parasect. I really like the Paris line. Venonat, Venomoth also has never been revisited. Diglett, Dugtrio got Alolan forms. Then, obviously, Meowth and Persian. Meowth is the only Pokemon with 3 regional forms. Persian has 2, and then Meowth also gets Berserker. I'm a big fan of Berserker. I think it's a cool Pokemon. Psyduck, Golduck has never been revisited. As much of a company mascot as Psyduck is, I think one of the problems with it is that Golduck is kind of such a... Golduck is so sufficiently overshadowed by Psyduck's fame, I think, is part of it. And so, yeah, like, they've never revisited Psyduck. I'd be curious to see them try, because that's one of the things. Regional variants are usually fun, I think more fun for people when they're talking about, like, the final form. And so to change the regional form of Psyduck just to get a new Psyduck, I don't know. But that's interesting that we've never revisited that line. We just got Annihilape, so that's Mankey Primeape. Growlithe, Arcanine got Hisuian forms. Poliwag, Poliwrath. We haven't done anything with them since Politoed, but that's something. Politoed. Berg is such a pushover with Pignite and a Pecha Berry on your side. There's really nothing he can do to you. Like, the one thing that can happen is Dwebble can kind of get away from you, but... yeah, like, yeah... a Z move for Psyduck could be fun. Like maybe give Psyduck some kind of, like, you know, if they brought something like Z moves back, you could give Psyduck, like, you know, fulfill the promise made in the anime of his, like, psychic powers that Golduck doesn't really feel like a great payoff for, you know? Or yeah, give Golduck, like, a mega form that, like cashes in on the promise of the, like, psychic powers of Psyduck. Yeah, it's insane that Psyduck isn't a psychic type. Or Golduck, rather, isn't a psychic type. It's truly fucking dumb. What's another one? So after Poliwrath, Abracadabra, Alakazam gets a Mega. Machoke Machamp gets a Dynamax form. We get a G-Max, rather. G-Max Machamp. And then we just got Mega Victory Bell. And then Tentacruel got Toedscruel. So we've got, like, which I think is, like, a fun new way of revisiting old lines like that. Like Wiglet Wugtrio, that's another one we got from Diglett Dugtrio, not just the Alolan forms. I think that's a fun revisiting thing. What else? So after Tentacruel, so we got Toedscruel, so they've been revisited. Golem line. We got the Alolan Golems. Alolan Golems. It's just kind of fun to say. Alolan Golems. And then after them, we got Ponyta, Rapidash got Galarian forms. The My Little Pony treatment. Then Slowpoke Slowbro, we got Galarian forms as well. And Slowking. Then Magnetite, Magneton, we got Magnezone and Sinnoh. Then it goes to Farfetch'd, who Galar, we got Sirfetch'd, Galarian Farfetch'd. So we've still got like a really low roster. I think Spearow, Fearow, Ekans Arbok, the Nidoking, the Nidolines, both Nidolines, Paris and Venonat. Those 5 I think are still and Psyduck Golduck. That's so funny. So those 6 are the only ones so far that have not been revisited. So where were we at? We were at Farfetch'd. And then Dodrio has not been revisited in any way. Dodrio, Seal Dugong have not been revisited in any way. Grimer Muck got Alolan forms. Shelder Cloyster has not been revisited in any way. Ghastly, we got G-Max Gengar and Mega Gengar, so there's been plenty of Gengar love. Then what's after that? I think I was thinking about delaying this route. I think I want to do this Charon fight and then, yeah, call it a night. I think that's the play. So let's look up this Charon fight real quick, and then we will be back next Tuesday. Charon. Charon Route 4, yes. Alright. Easy enough. Doduo is really cute. A baby Doduo. I think I've seen fan art for that. That's like super cute. He's leading Pit Up. Let's go ahead and lead Grand Sugar. Why not? Onyx obviously got Steelix. Drowsy Hypno has not been revisited. Krabby Kingler got a G-Max form. Shout out to Kingler G-Max. I think G-Max Kingler is so cool. One of the things about G-Maxes is I think that if they really ever wanted to, they could just turn those into Megas. They could just be like, oh, well, in Galar they got bigger, but actually those are just their Mega forms. So they could reuse those designs and just give us, like, maybe tweak them a little bit, but give us like Mega Kingler, Mega Butterfree, Mega Machamp. Voltorb Electrode got Hisuian forms. Execute Executor got a Alolan form. Marowak got an Alolan form. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan got Tyrogue and Hitmontop and Johto. Lickitung got Lickilicky. Coughing Wheezing got a Galarian form. Rhyhorn Rhydon got Rhyperior. Chansey got Blissey and Tappany. Tangela got Tangrowth. Ooh. This thing's probably going to want to hit Pursuit if I don't. How did we get put to sleep? How did that happen? Did I get yawned and not notice it? Is that must have been what happened. Yeah, I think his pants here knows yawn. Okay. I think the smart money's on Lemon. Yeah, I knew he was going to hit Pursuit. So I didn't want to see him do it over and over again. Let's get a Confuse Ray off. Why not? And then... Oh, give Hypno like the long Plague Doctor mask kind of thing? That could be really cool. Let's get another turn of Sandstorm Chip on this guy. And then hit one more tackle. Unless he hits himself. Alright, I think that's Charon. Alright, cool. Well, I am going to call it on playing the game, but I do want to talk through the rest of Kanto while I'm thinking about it. So, Weezing, Happiny, Tangrowth, Kangaskhan got a Mega, Horsey Seadra got Kingdra, Golding Seaking has not been revisited, Starmie just got Mega Starmie, Mr. Mime got a Galarian form, and Mime Jr., Mr. Rhyme, of course. Jinx got Smoochum, so even Jinx has been revisited in her way. Scyther, I skipped Scyther. Got Scizor, obviously, and Cleavor. Jinx, Electabuzz got Elekid and Electivire. Magmar, same treatment. Baby in an evolution. Pinsir got a Mega. Tauros got the Paldean forms. Magikarp Gyarados got a Mega. Lapras got a G-Max form. Ditto hasn't been revisited. I don't know what you're going to do with Ditto. That's kind of the weird thing about Ditto, is that its whole thing is already that it changes a bunch. So I don't know if they'd ever try... Like, to evolve Ditto seems like a weird idea. I don't know what they would ever do with Ditto. There's an idea somewhere, but I don't have it. Eevee obviously has gotten a ton of new evolutions, and, like, G-Max form as well. Then Porygon, obviously, 2 evolutions. Then the fossils are another one where it's like the whole point of the fossils is kind of that they're like old Pokemon. So obviously, I mean, they gave Aerodactyl a Mega, but Ammonite, Amistar, Kabuto, Kabutops not revisited. Snorlax gets a G-Max form and a baby. Even the legendary birds they've revisited. They gave them all Galarian forms. Mega Dragonite, we just got Mega Dragonite, and Mega Mewtwo's, 2 of those, obviously, and then Mew hasn't been revisited, but that's all the 151. Ditto got Pokopia, good call. Ditto got its whole own game. That counts for me. Ditto got a unique ability. I mean, Ditto is truly, like, a very, very unique Pokemon in its way. So it makes sense that it's not going to be, like, revisited and played with and, like, evolved or, like, babied like the way that other Pokemon are. Because I think the whole headcanon of Ditto is that it's, like, a failed experiment before Mew, right? I think that's the idea. Whatever. It's all fun and games, but, yeah, it sounds like it's still a... It's not an insignificant number that have not been revisited in any way, but it's not a big number. It's dwindling all the time, and I imagine Gen 10 will see one of those lines that we mentioned, Spearow, Ekans, the Niddos, the Paris, Venomoth, one of those lines is going to get some kind of revisiting in Gen 10. Mark my words. Well, guys, this has been a really fun stream. I had a lot of fun. Which was a real breath of fresh air after my last couple streams. And we've got a run going. No deaths. We're doing great. So thanks so much for hanging out. And I'll be back next Tuesday for another round of